fucking schizo thoughts time, but I'm gonna like regret it if I don't talk about this now. I probably won't. I've been looking into urine therapy recently. I heard about it for years, and the idea just always seemed kind of gross to me. Like it's like in a life or death situation, like you will die in the desert here unless you do this. Um, yeah, maybe, but even then, it would be like, well, especially me, like I know what death is, so I'm like, well, but because I've always been taught, and most of us have been, to associate everything with going to the bathroom being dirty. Bathrooms are dirty, germs, yuck, gross. It's waste. You pee in the toilet because you have to expel waste. And hypoloha, man, you got me thinking about this kind of stuff, words, or you reminded me to think about these things. Is it waste, or is it a waste that you're putting in the toilet? Is that the waste? Because everything I'm looking at is telling me, and my gut instinct here, that urine is a medicine, and that you don't ingest water so much because you need it to hydrate, right? But you put it in your body so that it can produce urine, because they call it that too. It produces urine, it makes urine. When you go to a doctor, what they always need a urine sample. If it was just waste, then what would it matter? Why would they need to look at it? I look at some of these old buildings that John Levy talks about with this crazy antiquitech, he calls it, where it's clear that they had some kind of technology that allowed people to have free energy. And that's why a lot of these buildings and cathedrals are built the way they are, with these weird things that look like weather vanes or flagpoles. They're actually harnessing energy. But one of the mainstays of these buildings is they don't have plumbing. None of them. So I thought, like, well, maybe, people were just more their normal state during these times, which is electricity, I don't know. But they didn't have to get rid of the waste because it wasn't a waste. It's a waste to get rid of it. Now, I have not broached the subject of the next possible thing you would think. I'm not ready to think about that next. And that would be, I'm not even going to talk, I just feel gross talking about it. I'm going to stick with number one right now. Okay? I saw a guy, an anon made a post over on X, of course, because where else would you talk about this shit? And he issued a challenge. He said, cut your finger, pee in a cup, put your finger in the cup, and a half hour later, look at your finger. Now, I thought, that's interesting. But I'm not going to do it. I didn't care. However, later that same day, I got a gash on my foot, on the side of my foot. I just put some peroxide on it. You have to be really careful here in Hawaii because nothing dies here. It doesn't get cold enough to kill off a lot of different bacteria, so what happens is things just grow and mutate, and it's easy to get infections. Staph runs wild here. So I'm always really careful when I do have a cut, especially on my foot, because I wear slippers everywhere. I don't have closed shoes. You just don't. A lot of people don't here. I also don't have a pair of long pants in, whatever. Point being, I take my wounds seriously, So I put peroxide on it. wash it down. Next morning I woke up. My foot was throbbing. Like, oh no, that's a sign of infection, the foot itself is sore around the cut. So I got a bowl out, put salt water in it. It's going to soak my foot in it. I said, you know what? I'm going to put some pee in there just to see. Well, I don't know if I want to show you here because I'm not really in a position to do so, but it healed the shit up. You can still see the outline of it, but it healed it. It's not throbbing, it's not hurting. It looks like it's in a late stage healing. Yeah, I don't know. And also when I did a Google search on urine therapy, and this is a good way to tell the truth about something, and I was just talking about this earlier in my class video, everything that comes back is, you shouldn't drink your own urine, false health benefits, all this stuff slamming the practice, okay? So right away that tells me, okay, there's something to this, obviously. If it's pages and pages of don't do it, or only if you are about to die. So I started watching some YouTube videos and reading some stuff about it. People that have done it for years and years use it topically, putting it on wounds and ingesting it. And, biblical figures were said to have done this as well. So it got me thinking, like, the whole concept that we've been taught about waste, it may not really be waste, it may be a waste to get rid of it. And that your body takes in this stuff to produce this healing liquid. Pretty crazy stuff, and I'm still in the early parts of really investigating it. But it made me think of those old buildings, those old Antiquitech buildings that had no plumbing. And this is one of those things where you get this weird inner feeling that it's right or it's true. You don't know how, you just feel it. Because it's honest, because truth is on its own frequency. And it's truth in a sense that it's not so much you're learning it from an outside source, you're comparing it with your own experience and what you know, because it's already inside you, all these answers to all this shit you already have. So it's feeling like that. It's feeling like there's something going on there. You think about energy drinks, electrolytes. They always talk about how, because you have to drink Gatorade because you piss that stuff out that your body really needs. It's like, oh, really? Then why would you be pissing it out? Now, the idea of drinking your own pee, to most of us, is fucking disgusting because we've been taught that socially, programmed to think that way. Everything involving bathroom stuff is always gross, or it's depicted as gross. Bathrooms are dirty, you get all this imagery in your mind. But could we be completely misunderstanding a pivotal function of our bodies, these vehicles that we have? We could be missing out on something that we self-produce to heal ourselves. And they would have every reason to make us think it's gross and be repulsed by it. They'd have every reason in the world to make you repulsed by something like that. I don't know. I'm going to follow this stuff a bit more. I'll think more about it, but just throwing it out there.